Hello everyone, and welcome to this session in which we will discuss bonds issued at a premium. In the prior two sessions, we looked at bond issued at par, bond issued at a discount. So now the bond is issued at a premium. What does that mean? It means the offering company is receiving more than the face value. So simply put, they're selling $100 for more than $100. Now you would be saying, why would somebody pay them more than the face value of the bond? Well, simple. The offering rate, the contract rate, the coupon rate, what the company is offering to the investor, to the creditor, is way higher than the ongoing market rate for similar investment, for similar bonds in the market. Then what would happen is the investors are willing to bid the price up. They're willing to pay a higher price for the bond. Why? Because they are being compensated. Simply put, why is a bond sold at a premium? Because the offering rate is higher than the ongoing market rate. Let's use some numbers. Let's assume the offering rate is 10% and the market rate is 8. Well, 10% is higher than 8. So the investors, if they go to the market to invest their money, they would only receive 8%. If they invest with this company, they will get 10%. And here we're comparing apples to apples, the bond versus similar investments in the market. So from the perspective of the company, yes, the company would receive more money up front, but remember, they're paying higher an interest rate. From the perspective of the investor, they're earning exactly what they want to earn, a higher rate of return, although they paid a little bit more, but they are being compensated. In other words, the company will have a higher cost because they are offering a higher rate, but they received more money. The investor is earning the exact rate that they want to earn because the investors want to earn the ongoing rate. Simply put, the benefit is the same for both. Once again, do not worry about how I arrive to the bond price. In other words, I'm going to tell you the bond price is 105.6% or 102% or 103%. For simplicity and for financial accounting students, I don't cover how we come up to the price of the bond. Now, if you're interested, you can go to my intermediate accounting because it requires that you have an understanding of the time value of money and how to discount the payments, how to discount the face value. If you're interested, go to my intermediate accounting. But for now, let's start to look at an example to illustrate issuing bond at a premium. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. Hello, my name is Farhat. You are here because you are either an accounting student, a finance student, or someone who's studying for their CMA or CPA exam. Great. You are looking for some additional help, and we can help you. I strongly encourage you to visit my website, farhatlectures.com. I offer additional lectures, resources, including PowerPoint slides, multiple choice questions, in some circumstances, exercises, and true-false questions. Our material is aligned with your CPA review courses, with your CMA review courses, with your college courses. I offer a risk-free trial that you can try to find out whether my website can help you or not. If you find it helpful, you subscribe, you keep your subscription. If not, you cancel and your risk is free. If you like this recording, if you like my lectures, you would like what's on the website, give me a chance to help you with your college courses as well as professional certification. I hope to see you on the website. So let's take a look at this example. Nike issued the following bond. Par value $200,000. Well, it's the same par value that we looked at when we looked at the par value bond and the discounted bond. Annual contract is 8%. I increased the offering to 8%. The interest payment is made semi-annually. The life of the bond is 3 years, and the bond sells at a premium of 104.5%, which is 104.5% times 200,000, the company would receive 209,000. So the company received $9,000 more than the bond face value. Why? Because 8% is what? More than the market. And we discussed this. We discussed why. Now don't worry about how we came up with the price. That's for a separate session. The first thing we are going to do is record the bond, the issuance of the bond. How much cash did the company receive? 209. How much the company would record in bonds payable? 200,000. Hold on a second. Are you telling me I received today 209,000 and I am only responsible for paying back 200,000? And the answer is yes. Why did you receive this extra money? I already explained it. It's because you are offering an interest payment that's higher than your competitor. Now, or higher than the market. The market is the competitors. The additional 9,000 will be recorded as a premium on bonds payable. Well, this is a new account. What is premium? Premium is an adjunct liability. Simply put, it's an account that increases your liability. This is the amount that you received extra. And what's going to happen to this amount? You are going to amortize. Now, not to interest expensed, you're going to amortize against interest expense. It means it's going to reduce your interest expense. So as you're amortizing, as you're debiting this account, you are going to credit interest expense. And is that reasonable? Yes. The reason you receive the extra money is because you are paying extra interest in form of an interest rate. Now, how much do you amortize? How much do you amortize per period? If this is a 3-year, 6-period bond, if we take 9,000 divided by 6, we are going to amortize 1,500 per period, which is 9,000 divided by 6. Now, I am using the straight line amortization. You will see later on in advanced accounting and intermediate accounting, we will use another method called the effective interest rate method, which is the appropriate method. But here, for simplicity, we'll use the straight line. Now, let me just go over what I just did. We are going to amortize the 9,000 using the straight line method. 9,000 divided by 6 will amortize 1,500. So for each semi-annual period, we would record interest expense and the amortization of the premium. Now, what is the total interest expense for this company? What's their total interest expense? Well, their total interest expense, the payment is 8,000 times 6. So they will pay in cash in total over 3 years, 48,000. However, this is their negative. They'll pay this much over 6 periods, which is 3 years. But they received 9,000 extra. Therefore, they have to pay 48. They received 9,000 extra. Their net interest expense is 39,000. And they will amortize 1,500 per period. Now let's see the journal entry. How is the journal entry? How is the journal entry structured for this? Well, we are going to credit cash 8,000 because that's the interest, the cash payment. The cash payment is 200,000 times 8% times 1/2, and that's the cash, 8,000 every 6 months. Also, what we need to do, we had in the premium 9,000. Now we are going to amortize 1,500. We're going to debit premium, and what do we credit? Interest expense. Let me break down this. We'll credit interest expense. Let me break down what the journal entry that you see on the screen. The company will debit interest expense $8,000, credit cash $8,000 for the cash payment. There's nothing you can do about this. You have to pay it. Then the company will debit premium. I'm going to abbreviate premium, bonds, on bonds payable. How much will they do it? They will do 1,500. They will debit this amount, 1,500, and they will credit interest expense. Let me go back here. They will credit interest expense 1,500. Now, if you combine those two, interest expense debited 8 minus 1,500 will give you bond interest expense of 6,500. So notice 8,000 for the cash minus 1,500 will give you 6,500. Why? Because we are amortizing the premium against the interest expense. Now obviously we have to debit the premium to reduce the premium. Now the question becomes, what is your balance in the premium? 9,000 minus 1,500. After the first payment, the balance in the premium is 7,500. What is the carrying value of a premium bond? The carrying value of a premium bond is the bonds payable face value plus the premium that has not been amortized, which is after the first payment. How much is it? 7,500. So 200,000 plus 7,500 equal to 207,500. Now bear in mind what's going to happen to this premium. This entry would repeat itself 5 more times after this one, and 5 more times will make the premium equal to 0. What does that mean? It means eventually the carrying value goes down to 200,000. The opposite of a discount. The discount, the value went up to 200,000 because it was below. Premium, it starts above the par, it goes down to the par or the face value. And this is an amortization schedule. The bond carrying value when it was issued was 209. After the first payment, we paid the unamortized amount is 7,500. The bond carrying value is 207,500. Then we amortized 1,500 and the unamortized amount is 6,000. The bond carrying value is 206. And we are amortizing 1,500 every period, and every period the bond carrying value going down by 1,500 until it reaches that magic face or par value of 200,000. At this point, the company will do what? You guessed it. They will debit bonds payable 200,000 and they will credit cash 200,000, and we are done with the bond. Why? Because the premium was taken care of and now we paid off the bond. This bond is past history. So make sure you are familiar with par value bond, a discounted bond, a premium bond. This is what we did using the same bond, the $200,000 bond. We issued it at 3 different scenarios. Make sure you are familiar with the journal entries, how to journalize the issuance of the bond, how to journalize the interest expense, how to journalize the retirement, how to read amortization schedule. You might be able to prepare. You might be expected to prepare an amortization schedule or compute the carrying value of the bond. The carrying value of the bond is an important computation because it's gonna come into play when we get rid of the bond before its maturity. What does that mean? It means we would learn later that at some point, maybe at this point after 2 payments, we want to buy back this bond. The company wants to buy back the bond. Well, because they want to buy back the bond, they might either have a gain or a loss. How do we compute the gain or a loss? We compare the carrying value versus how much we paid. We will get to that section soon. What should you do now? Go to Farhat Lectures, look at additional MCQs, exercises, lectures, resources. That's going to help you in your studies. Invest in yourself. Good luck. And of course, stay safe.